And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to, I hate to say this, but the very first 27 Outs Live here in 2025. I, of course, am Ivan. That's Stefan. It's been a while since we've been able to say that. It's been a while since we've been able to chat with you guys, and I know you guys feel the same way. Let me start off by saying this. We have a lot to cover today, so I hope you guys are ready for that because we sure are. A lot of prep work, a lot of conversations behind the scenes went on leading up to our first video here in 2025. Now, as I mentioned, but yeah. So for those of you who are following us on YouTube, we were originally supposed to put out our first video last Sunday, which was a week prior to today. And I got sick. I was sick for literally 4 days. I don't know what the hell I had, but I had fever. I had chills. I was literally in bed and I didn't want to do anything else other than be in bed. So I hit up Stefan, and that's why we had to hit you guys with the update. And these things happen, but listen, Stefan and I are two people who take this show very seriously. And we were looking forward to coming back last week, but the good news is, aside from that, I'm healthy. I'm good to go. I took some time to myself. Stefan, thank you for being patient. For those of you who are watching right now, shout out to you guys for being patient as well. And, looking forward to tonight's video. So, Stefan, take it away. What do you have to say to them? Where would you like to start? And let's get this thing rolling.
I just want to say what's up, everybody, man. It feels good to finally be back doing this. And listen, man, I must say this. Like he says, we don't take the show lightly, but so we're gonna jump right into it. I called him maybe, I want to say, when I called you, bro, a couple days ago. And I said,
we always talk, so sometimes I lose track.
No, but I called you and I said, yo, we got some shit to talk about tonight. Like there's some stuff going on, and we got to get to it, man, because listen, the world of baseball it may happen slowly, but there's always shit going on behind the scenes that you guys ain't always aware of. So let me start off by saying this. If you hate what the LA Dodgers have done so far this offseason, I need you to do one favor and blame your ownership group for how they're handling their business. We always sit there and blame everybody else for what somebody else decides to do. It ain't the Dodgers' fault that they're deciding, yo, let's flex this financial muscle and get busy. You know what I mean? They are doing what we all want our ownership group to do. If you're a fan of a team, you want your ownership group to say, yo, you know what? Money be damned. It really doesn't matter. Let's spend the money to put a competitive product and a winning product on the field. Now, is it good for baseball that they're doing this? That's subjective. That's up to you. The way I look at it is what are we expecting them to do? Right? Will you expect them to win and go back into their black hole? Nah. If you don't want to spend, that's not our problem. If you don't want to spend, that's not our fault. What I would say is this should incentivize, and I want to know what you guys think in the chat, as well as everybody else in here. This should incentivize people to want to spend money, to want to see their teams get better, to want to be competitive against the Dodgers, because right now what you're showing is, listen, we rather just pocket this bread. We rather just pocket the bread. We rather just, do it ourselves and not worry about the ramifications. Don't pocket the bread. Spend a little of it, because the reality of it is the Dodgers ain't going to stop spending. Right. They ain't going nowhere.
And one thing I want to add on to what you had already said, Stefan, and we have a lot more in store tonight. So shout out to everyone who's watching right now. Make sure you definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new here. But yeah, what I do want to say in addition to that is it's not like the Dodgers are doing anything wrong, right? Like, no. It's something that is legal. It's allowed. Now, nobody's really saying much in Major League Baseball for this to really come off as something that is wrong at the end of the day. Now, we all have our own personal feelings regarding how the Dodgers have damn near had the last 2 to 3 off seasons in the chokehold, I would say.
On lock. Yeah.
Yeah. So will there ever be a time where we'll be shown otherwise? Who knows, right? But for the time being, yeah, you're right, Stefan. Listen, if I were an owner, if I were an organization that had the same type of capital as the Dodgers, and listen, it doesn't have to be that same exact amount. No. But the fact that you are able to at least cough up some money when you are able to and you choose not to, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
And the beautiful thing about it is that, listen, if you're a Dodger fan, poke your chest out, talk your shit, let the world know. Listen, we outspending all you guys. There's nothing you could really do about it. And if you really want to do something about it, then spend some money. Listen, when you got people like Steve Cohen, as rich as Steve Cohen is, you expected Steve Cohen to spend a little more than he has so far this offseason. But I understand. I understand both sides of this, because I just want to make this point as well, which is there are negatives to spending as much as these teams have spent. There are negatives, right? So the negative is, if we keep going over the threshold, if we keep going over the different thresholds and you keep going over it, what happens? You lose draft picks, you lose your international signing pool bonus money, you lose all that, and that's how you build a team.
And this is a very important part, because this happens right before our very eyes. A lot of these long-term deals don't end up working out. Like, let's say it's a 10-year deal. Yeah, year 3 to 5 might look very good, especially when you consider the amount of money that was put in.
Right.
But let's not sit here and act like all of these deals that the Dodgers have been giving out to people are going to work in their favor in the long run. Now, here's the thing. They're not worried about that, and it shows. Hence why a lot of this money is deferred for so many players.
But that's the beauty of having a front office like an Andrew Friedman, like a Farhan Zaidi, like guys that are in the front office now. Actually, Farhan Zaidi's back with the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? I think you can't be afraid to do this. You can't be afraid to spend money and say, you know what? What happens if it fails? Look at the Red Sox, for example. They are paralyzed with the fear of God to hand out a long-term contract, because they handed out to Yoshida. Yoshida hasn't worked out. Chris Sale, they're still having nightmares about that Chris Sale contract that they gave him a couple years ago. But if you're in a big market, I guess that comes with the territory, right? Like, in certain markets, you got to spend. And in a city like Los Angeles, when the Dodgers are already good, guess what? The Dodger fans are going to expect you to keep going, right? Like, anybody that says, oh, well, we could win with a $200 million payroll, you can't. You can't. I don't care what planet you live on. If you want to do sustained winning, now, and not everybody can be the Rays, right? Where the Rays have found a way to do it with $70 million as a whole. The Rays don't go to the World Series often. The Rays don't get to the top of the mountain often. Because at the end of the day, what wins? Talent. Talent wins. You know what you need to acquire talent? Spend some money. And they've done that. And they've done it very well. Also, they've scouted very well as well. When you got guys like Pajes and all these guys that are in the system, that are producing for them, right? Like Dustin May was a Dodger farmhand. Dustin May is like their 8th starter on the totem pole. Dustin May, for any staff in the big leagues, will probably be what, your number 3 starter? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that goes to show you how deep they are with the scouting and how they go about it. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And if you're envious of them, you should be envious, but you should not want it to be the reason why you stop watching baseball or why you end up hating baseball, because guess what? You know what this means for baseball? And I'm going to let you go, Ivan, because we got a shit ton of comments that I want to read. This is good for baseball because it means ratings. The Dodgers being in the World Series means ratings. And not only does it mean ratings for the Los Angeles area, but it means ratings internationally. Because now I got the whole Japanese market on lock where it's like, hold up, bruh.
And that's where it's really coming from, especially when you look back at how well the ratings were for the postseason.
Right, and that's the beautiful thing about what they're doing. They're making the game sure that, number one, yes, Los Angeles is going to be LA. We good on that. But I want to make sure that internationally, this shit is on lockdown, and we're not going nowhere. And that's the beautiful thing about what they're doing.
Right. One other thing I want to say about, and Stefan, we talked about this, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. We've had a couple of conversations, including what we are talking about right now at this very moment, right? But it's crazy how the Dodgers won the World Series banged up, right? Like Ohtani wasn't the two-way player that the Dodgers imagined he would be in year one for them. You didn't have Tyler Glass now. And you have some other guys who weren't also available. Freddie Freeman, damn near was playing on 5 toes, like
playing on one leg.
Yeah. It was that bad for them, and they still found a way to come on top, right? So credit to them, but they're coming back with the same exact team, right? Not just that, but you brought in Blake Snell. We found out earlier today that they brought in Tanner Scott, who many would say was probably the best reliever available on the market, right? So you throw those guys in there, in addition to the other guys who were already team. Ohtani coming back to being able to pitch. Yamamoto in year 2 is probably going to be better now that he played a full season.
Sasaki.
You got Tyler Glass now. You got Roki, Sasaki. And by the way, I want to say this, man. For those of you who watch basketball, if you're watching right now, let us know in the comment section if you feel the same way. And if not, if you feel otherwise, either way, right? Regardless, let us know how you feel. But this, to me, I said this to you, Stefan, but I think right now is the perfect time to really get into it here tonight. This right now, with what the LA Dodgers are doing in Major League Baseball, is this is not just LeBron, Wade, and Bosh when they went to the Heat. Yeah. This is not just KD going to the Warriors after they had that magnificent record. This is literally both the Heat and the Warriors coming together to essentially form what do we call it? The Avengers? Like, these guys need a name other than the Dodgers at this point because they are stacked.
Forget about having super teams. These niggas, they came back like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to give you a new name. We're just going to call it the Pacific Coast Dodgers. Like, they got the whole Pacific on lock.
Yeah.
Japan, California, they everywhere.
And also, again, as you mentioned, Stefan, I'm with you, I want to say, right? Like, I'm with you when it comes to, them not doing nothing wrong and just making the best out of what they have in front of them, right? But also, listen, man, these players, like, this is what really bothers me, is the fact that these players are okay with making these decisions. Like, it's so easy for everyone to just say yes to what the Dodgers are offering them.
Right.
And to simply just join. Listen, they were a super team last season, and I don't know what they are at this point, but they are just adding talent like never before. Like, I never thought that baseball would become a video game. Like, this is stuff that you adjust the settings on MLB The Show. You make sure all trades, all signings go through, but instead it's happening in real life.
Yeah, but again, I don't see, this is my thing, right? I think me and you are on both opposite sides of this. We're on opposite sides of this. If it's going to push the rest of baseball to want to do the same thing instead of pocketing the money, if the Dodgers lay out the blueprint, in order to win at this level, you got to spend like we spend. It may not work out for you like it worked out for us, but you at least got to put yourself in a position. You can't talk about you want to win and you want to pocket the majority of this money, right? Like, I love the idea. I absolutely love the idea of the Dodgers telling you, you know what? We won the World Series last year, but up that, we putting our foot on your neck and we're going to make sure we in the building. I love that because that means that, number one, you acting like a big market should. You acting the way you should. If you're a big market, if you're the Mets, if you're the Cubs, if you're the Red Sox, if you're the Yankees, there's no excuse. They're giving you the blueprint. And also, what this shows you is you must be willing to give yourself a chance. Put yourself in the dance and say, you know what? Risk be damned. We want to win. We are risk averse to whatever happens. Because how many times have we sat here and say, why these teams ain't spending? Why
Right.
these teams ain't doing what they got to do to put
As you mentioned a couple minutes ago, the Mets, we both came into this offseason thinking that they
right,
were going to do more than sign Juan Soto because we already had him going there in the first place.
and they haven't done it. And they haven't done it. And the beautiful thing is, listen, I like it when you put pressure on the other teams. I like it that they're feeling uncomfortable, right? And this, for me, you may say, well, what about the players wanting it to be competitive? That's true. But if they doling out the cash and they letting you know, yo, we got the treasure trove of money, come through, what am I supposed, how am I supposed to say no to that?
Right.
Right? Like, listen, I get this all started with Ohtani deferring 95% of his contract. I get that. But you can't blame him for having small business sense enough to know that, yo, the 10 years I'm here, we winning multiple of them things.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing all my boys over.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart business.
Yeah, by the way, I'm glad you said that, Stefan. Shout out to everyone who is watching right now. In fact, as we continue this conversation, make sure you follow us on Instagram at 27outs3C. And for those of you who are watching us live on YouTube right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Welcome. I'm Ivan. That's Stefan. This is 27 Outs. But yeah, I told you how I felt when it came to, how all of a sudden Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki are suddenly on the same team in Major League Baseball. Like it's no coincidence to me that these guys are on the same team. If you were to ask me, I actually believe that this was something that was talked about behind the scenes, and it just so happened to work out in their favor. As crazy as it sounds, right? Like we're talking about the greatest Japanese baseball player of all time and two of the greatest Japanese pitchers of all time coming from their country to America to finally play for the LA Dodgers all together. Like it just sounds like a match made in heaven. It's perfect for them.
It definitely does. And listen, you can't fault them for coming out and saying, yo, guess what? We got the Japanese market on lockdown. They came out and said that. They said that, yo, our mission is to corner the Japanese market. And they've done it. How many times have we sat there and said, yo, damn, they out here cornering the market, and they letting you know brazenly, yo, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I will warn you though, as much as I love it, and Ivan, you may feel how you feel, which is fine. It's a free country. We could agree to disagree. One thing I can tell you with universal certainty, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, to quote the great road dog Jesse James, we are headed for a lockout, boys and girls. After the 2026 season, for those who are new to the channel, I've been saying this for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Yeah, you have been.
We are headed for a lockout, boys and girls. Now, why is that important? Because people hate that the Dodgers are spending the way that they're spending. People hate that that is going in this direction. But if you hate it, instead of locking us out, why don't you change it? Right? Why don't you say to ourselves, you know what? We could all afford it. Because to own a sports franchise nowadays, guess what? You got to be a billionaire, which means you could afford whatever you decide.
Yeah, easily.
Now, don't cry poor when you choose not to spend the money, you choose to pocket it. That is up to you. But overall, we are headed for a lockout. And it's unfortunate. It really is. It really is. But let's get to these comments, man. Ivan, you know what I mean? We're going to get...
Bro, we have, obviously, we started tonight's show talking about the Dodgers, for those of you who just got here, or perhaps those of you who have already been here, right? Shout out to everyone who's tuned in right now. We've got some other things to get into, but because we have so many of you who watch us, and not just watch us, but comment now, we always appreciate it. We have to actually make time for you guys, right? So we're gonna get back to some of this stuff, but let's see what you guys are saying, because as Stefan mentioned not too long ago, you guys have been saying a lot.
If you new in here, type a hashtag new and we'll shout you out.
Yeah, by the way, where if you're new here, where you guys from? Who are you a fan of? All that stuff. Later on in the show, after we get into our topics, we like to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, right?
For
So
sure, for sure. So, you know what I mean? Razor says, I'm in here, bros. All right, man. We got to welcome back, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, man. Thank you. I can't disagree.
yeah.
They might have the deepest pick. I mean, I think the Yankees have something to say about that, but I think you could go 1A, 1B.
You know what's a better word? Rather than saying the Dodgers have the best bullpen in baseball, I
They
just
might
think
have
the
the
Dodgers
deepest
have the
bullpen
best roster in
in
baseball.
baseball. Yep, you're
Like
right.
for real, just to sum it up.
You're right.
Shout out to you, Mike.
Word. This comment right here, you know what, bro? That
Shout out
comment
to
right,
you, Willie.
that
Yeah.
comment right there, that deserves one word up. You know what I mean? Let's go back to these comments. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a beautiful thing. You heard what I did hear that where he talked about him being the best owner in the game and him having vision, and I'm like, yo, dog, stop.
Yeah, okay.
He said this publicly, and I was like, he's personally fine. You know what? That's, I mean, this.
Absolutely. But they have that. These guys are buddy buddy.
Nah, they all like, yeah,
Like
they
this
all
is
came
this
up
is no
together.
shade to the Japanese players who are now on the Dodgers, but yo, these guys are the best of friends. They just won a WBC championship just a couple of years ago. And I had even told you earlier today, Stefan, there was an image that I had seen going back to that time where Sasaki was like, yo, we're going to try to do our best to make sure that this is not the first and last time that we basically play baseball together on the same team. Fast forward to 2025 now. There it is. It turned into a reality.
Right. So here, by the way, so it says 20 you guys in the chat right now. Put a 20 in the chat right now for us real quick.
I think that's the first time we hit 20, right? I believe so.
Nah, we hit 20 a few times.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Not tonight, but it's the first time we hit 20 tonight. If there's 20 you in the chat, put a 20 in the chat for us one time.
No, Tony, I disagree, bro. If shout out to you, I don't know if you're new here or not, but thank you for commenting that. But just to speak on what you said. So Stefan, as he mentioned a couple of minutes ago, has been literally shouting behind the scenes, but even publicly now, especially with the show, that there will be a lockout. Now, at first, I was a little standoffish with that because I had that same mindset, Tony, where there's too much money, especially when you look at the amount of deals and how rich these owners are. But I only agree with that to a certain extent, right? And what I mean by that is I do agree with Stefan. There will be a lockout. Now, I think how long the lockout ends up being may not be that bad because of your point, Tony, and that being that there is so much money that's out there nowadays. But I don't think it'll stop a lockout completely. Absolutely not. If there's an issue, it has to be addressed no matter how much money's being made.
There you go, bro. There you go. And that's the thing, right? So there's a comment up here that by the way, I just want to love the platform. You know what I mean? Thank you, brother.
Welcome. What's Deron? Deron, if your name is Deron Domino, aka Lakers in Finals. We're a baseball show.
By
bro,
the way,
I
real
don't
quick,
think so.
If you are watching this from Los Angeles, prayers and thoughts to you guys, man. Those wildfires are serious. So if you're in LA, our prayers, our thoughts, all of that are with you guys. Stay strong. We're gonna be here for you guys. So if you want to come to the channel with a sense of community and all that stuff, our hearts are with you guys in LA right now. So because them forest fires is looking wicked out there right now.
Man, I read a couple of articles here and there, and that thing is pretty bad, man.
Yeah, for sure. This comment's funny. This comment's
Japan
funny.
WBC roster in LA. Yeah, you're right, Andy. Shout out to Andy.
You know what I mean? I like that. Bro. I like that.
And who's to say that they're gonna stop, right? Because like you said, Stefan, they basically have the Japanese market in the palm of their hands. It could lead to that, Rick. It could. We aren't there yet, but it would not surprise me if in the near future we end up hearing some sort of breaking news where the Dodgers are being investigated for whatever that reason may be.
Well, here's the beautiful thing about that, right? Like, even if you investigate the Dodgers, guess what? Major League Baseball is profiting from these guys being as good as they are. So how much in the investigation are you really getting?
Yeah, they might even want to prolong it on purpose.
Right? So Manfred's probably like, you can investigate it, but how much of an investigation are we getting?
Gil from the Bronx, you a Mets fan? All right, shout out to Gil.
What's up, Gil? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for us, man. Appreciate you, man. So
welcome.
I wonder how much investigating is really about to happen, because it's like, yo, you're one of our marquee franchises in a marquee market where we print money. So how much are we really going to investigate you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand in theory that seems like the right thing to do, but you know what it is. In practice, if we print in money, do we really want to investigate these dudes? Do we really want to do that? No.
And if it were to ever get to that point, it's not like they're going to make themselves want to look bad anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So will we ever even know the truth if, for example, what Rick just said turns out to be something that ends up being an issue?
When we do find out, if we find out, here's what I'll tell you. We're going to find out when this front office is no longer in power. We're going to find out after this current Dodger team is no longer playing, right? That's when we find out.
That's a great comment, by the way, by you, Young. Yeah.
By the way, for that, you deserve one of these, bro, because that's beautiful.
Welcome to the channel, bro. First time seeing your name here.
That's beautiful. You deserve one of those. He just dropped a bomb right now.
Yeah, because one thing that I do want to say, now that we have this comment here is, what if the Dodgers are just ahead of everyone else when it comes to already being in the future of baseball?
And you got
like, what if this is the future, but the Dodgers just so happen to be the team that gets a head start?
So, but here's the beautiful thing, right? The beautiful thing is, and we're going to read more of these comments, guys. We just want to get into the conversation. No, thank you, man. Thank you, man, for sure. Hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Every time we go live, we're gonna make sure we see you guys. Yeah, I mean, but that just goes to show you, listen,
soon.
And I've been saying this, that we're gonna see a player make $1 billion. But the beautiful thing about what we're seeing, bro, and I want you guys, I want Ivan, I want me and you to bat this back and forth as well as the listeners. The beautiful thing about this is, guess what? The game needed a bully, right? All sports need bullies, whether we want to believe it or not. The 90s Yankees, they were good every year. They were getting every free agent. In the 2000s, it was us against us and the Red Sox. You know what I'm saying? You need the big market to act like big markets. And the Guggenheim family and the front office, they're doing it. And it's not just spending money, because look at how they scouted. Sasaki, they were on Sasaki for 3 years. They were on Roki Sasaki for 3 years. Ivan, 3 whole years. They were in Japan scouting this dude every start. They would go, they would check on him. You know what I mean? Now, it doesn't hurt that Ohtani was like, he's basically signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah, they basically have the guy who probably knows more than just a thing or two when it comes to international prospects, specifically in Japan.
This is a comment. Mike, thank you, bro. Elliot, stay strong out there, brother. And we gonna be here for y'all, man. The channel's always, we gonna be here for sure. Question. So this is what happens. Can we break this down? Matter of fact, you had a thought?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So what happens is that they have a lot of handshake deals, because there was a story in The Athletic as well as other places how you have players that are 12, 11, 12, 13 that have handshake agreements with these organizations that say, come to us. Come sign with us. Come make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually what happens, is whether it's fair or not, whether it's just or not, they've been doing this for years. they've been having handshake agreements, and also now that there's stories coming out over the previous couple years about how Ivan, I don't know if you remember this, about how now they're starting to really crack down on people that are using the wrong age,
Yeah,
frauding their
yeah,
age,
lying about their birth date, right?
right? And so all of this has been happening for years, whether or not there's a handshake agreement in place or not. It happens in the Latin countries. So all of a sudden, we're gonna investigate Sasaki and the Dodgers when the majority of Major League Baseball in the Latin markets have been doing this for years.
Right.
Tell me what the difference is. Tell me what the difference is. I would love to know the answer to that.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of young players, and I know we're on this topic when it comes to the Dodgers. Did you hear about that Japanese kid coming out of high school? Forgot, I don't know how old he is. He hit like 40 something home runs or something ridiculous like that. For those of you, yeah, it's crazy, man. Listen, I know I like to joke here and say like, what factories do they have over there in Japan? But on a serious note, like, listen, Japan, they are on their way, and they're coming fast.
Did you hear about the kid out of Cuba that the Dodgers signed?
I think I did.
The 17-year-old that was 6'6".
Right.
That this kid's throwing 98 miles an hour at 17 years old.
That's just crazy, bro. I don't know what to say, bro. Like, first of all, y'all are not even fully developed. Like, y'all literally just hit puberty damn near a couple of years prior, and you telling me you have it in you to throw high 90s, if not triple digits. I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know if it's the workouts. I don't know if it's the food. I don't know what's going on nowadays, for real. That's the first baseman, I believe, who is going to become available after this upcoming season, right?
Yeah, he's the first. He also plays third too. So
right,
he plays first and third.
Listen, I would not put it past the Dodgers if they were to somehow be the team that lands him, bro. Like, we could sit here and be like, yo, but they got Freddie Freeman, right? I thought the same thing, when others did too, when it came to Roki Sasaki and acquiring Blake Snell. Like, we thought they had enough, considering the fact that they just won the World Series in 2024. But here we are, first month of 2025, and it's like, holy shit! Like,
so here's what
don't stop.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you, right? We acquire the players and we figure it out later. We'll take the talent. We'll figure out where to put you later. That's not we'll figure it out. That's a Dave Roberts, coaching staff bench problem. We figure that out. This is funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's a good one there.
Yo, really quick, friendly reminder, make sure you follow us on Instagram at 27outs3c. And for those of you who are watching right now live via YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. Welcome aboard. This is our very first live video here of 2025. I didn't want to be cheesy tonight and be on some Happy New Year, and because I kind of feel like after like the first few days in January,
we can't say
like it's not even. It's pointless to say.
Yeah,
but listen, guys, we are beginning the new year exactly how we are right now as I speak. So welcome aboard.
Welcome, man. Welcome to the family. And guys, do me a favor. If you haven't hit the like and the subscribe to the channel yet, do so right now. Because listen, I got a goal. If you could get us to 160 tonight, that'll be the goal. That's the goal. So if you help us get to 160, if you let other people know about the channel, we will shout you guys out on a YouTube notification. So help us get to 160, man, and let other people know about us as well.
Join us at the parade. Yo, I like the confidence, Mike. I'm not mad at you, especially if you are a Dodgers fan. Live it up, man. I'm not a Dodgers fan. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Yankee fan. But that's not how we operate here on this show, right? Like, the truth is the truth, and it is what it is.
And we baseball fans at the end of the day, fellas. So whether it's the Dodgers, it don't matter who it is, if you in here, and once again, word, man. Much love to everybody that's in the LA area right now.
Yo, by the way, Stefan, I know you just did this a couple of minutes ago. We got a couple of people from LA tonight, and it shows. Like, not only are you guys watching, obviously, but you guys are leaving comments. So shout out to our new LA viewers. We had no clue we had people out in LA, but now we know.
I mean, listen, you are we all over the map. We in LA, we in Boston, we in Baltimore, we
The
everywhere.
other thing I want to say too is I know you said what you said about especially with how bad things have been over there on the West Coast. But anybody in the tri-state area, we're being hit with this snowstorm right now. I know certain states get it, worse than others. So make sure y'all are safe. It's pretty bad out there. I stepped out not too long before the show actually began tonight, and I was like, let me get back inside because it's showtime.
It's coming down like a motherfucker out there.
Yeah, it is.
On paper, yeah, but they got Juan Soto, so that's
right. Yeah, I will say this though: the Yankees look like more of a complete team than the Mets do. I don't think we could have disagreed with that.
No, for sure. Nah, them tacos in LA, I heard them street tacos are something to behold, man.
I love tacos, bro. Stefan, I've told you before, I'm a big fan of spice, especially. But Mexican food, man, I love tacos. I love quesadillas. I love flautas, tostadas, all that stuff, man.
So this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. When we make our first live trip to LA, man, y'all gotta show us the spots, man. You hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Y'all gotta come and make sure we well fed out there. You know what I'm saying? So if there's some joints that you want us to, hit up, and Pink's Hot Dogs, Roscoe's, I know the spots, man. I know the spots. Yeah, for sure. Listen, so this is the other thing I'm gonna tell you. How beautiful of a signing was that Sasaki signing? In terms of, we knew where he was going.
Yeah.
But they had to play the game. So they're like, meet with the Blue Jays, meet with the Yankees, meet with everybody and their mama. But you know where home is.
But, believe it or not, some people fell for the bait. Some people fell for the bait where, going to the Padres was possible. Going to the Toronto Blue Jays was possible.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fall for it. Like, yeah, I would also read the news as it came out, just like the rest of us here tonight.
Right.
I was more so on like, he's going to the Dodgers. It don't matter what the media is saying. It don't matter what he's telling the media to tell us. Like, I was like, it's the Dodgers and it's the Dodgers only. So be it.
And you know what it is? And you know what? Credit the Dodgers for being out front and saying, this dude is our top priority. They said it at the winter meetings. They told y'all. They told you guys from the jump, this is what we plan to do. How you going to stop it? What are you going to do? You can't stop us. If we want a player, we're going to go get that player. I like people that act like that. You know what I'm saying? Because what it shows me is, and this proves my theory, that this all comes down to money. I know it's sports and it's fandom and we get lost in it. But Ivan, you know me for as long as you know me. I'm the money dude. Show me the money, show me where it's at, and I'll follow you to the depths.
By the way, since we're talking about money, I just had this random thought, but I have to share it. It's extremely relevant to what we're talking about right now, and I don't want to lose it. But could you just imagine, let me walk you guys through this. Remember the whole No Runs DMC with Dellin Betances, Andrew Miller, Aroldis Chapman?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the merch sales that Japan is about to make, that the Dodgers are about to make? Just anyone who is creating shirts with Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Roki Sasaki on it. Do you know what that is going to do, bro? Oh, my goodness.
And think about this, right? Here's the other thing. They started this. Hideo Nomo was the first international signing. Where did he go? He went to the Dodgers, dog.
I remember Hideo Nomo, yeah.
So, when we talk about, was this brand new? The Dodgers are doing this. They've been doing this. They've been doing this. Why are we acting like this is brand new? See, the problem I have, and I want to know what you guys think of this, the problem I tend to have is that we look at social media now and everybody blows it out of proportion. What you mean? Blah, blah, blah. No, they've been doing this. Don't act holier than thou because we all got a Twitter account and everybody got an Instagram. I can't believe they're doing this with this fake outrage. Don't be outraged. Because here's the thing. If it was our team, because I'm a Yankee fan as well, but I love baseball. we be like, yo, this is beautiful. I can't wait for them to do more. Don't hate on it because it goes in cycles, right?
See,
Like,
but here's the thing, though, Stefan. While you and I, even though we are Yankee fans, deep down inside, we won't genuinely be happy about where the game is headed, though, because of how much we just love the game more than we love an organization. I think a lot of
right,
people they become so attached to an organization
right.
that when you run it up, how the Dodgers are right now, yo, it's like love at first sight. So you're okay with all of these signings. You're okay with all these trades. You're okay with all these acquisitions because it's your team. But where
Yeah.
we come from, and I just wanted to put this out there, like
Go ahead.
even if it was, happening with our favorite team,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we would be happy, but at the end of the day, we would also be like, all right, hold on now. Like, can another team get involved? Can somebody else just like put an end or just put their foot down? Do something. Like everybody with money in baseball just looks lifeless right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but I just had to say that.
No, but again, it comes down to the want to. You heard? We can sit here and yell about how bad this is, how unfair it is, but who wants to step up and do something? Who's gonna be the person that says, "Yo, let's step up and do something"? Because the bully's gonna be the bully. If the bully's running the schoolyard, knocking cats out left and right, yo, this ain't your schoolyard. If you come in here, you get knocked out. If they knocking out all the dudes, all the cats supposed to be them dudes, the bully's gonna take the yard as long as the bully's allowed to take the yard. So which owner, Steve Cohen, Steinbrenner, which owner is gonna step up and say, all right, bro, yo, enough? Until somebody says, yo, enough, I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Because we can't keep caping or capping for these owners and be like, yo, no, but it's unfair. Until you man up and until you say, yo, the consumer, the fan bases, everybody involved in this game needs to step up and do something, then we're going to continue to go through this cycle. Because guess what? If I'm the Dodgers, it's full speed ahead. Whoever I want next, I'm going to get until you stop me.
By the way, I want to say this too. For anyone who I know somebody here earlier tonight said they were a Mets fan. Shout out to that person if you're still here, or
Word.
just in general. Shout out to all of you, right? But for anyone who is a fan of a team in the National League specifically, right? Like, do you know what? Just forget winning the World Series, Bart. But do you know what it would mean if you're the other National League team that takes down this Dodgers team, bro?
That's crazy.
Like, this is going to be similar to what the Dallas Mavericks did when they took down the Big Three.
They took down a Big
And
Three.
it was just Dirk and a bunch of role players just killing, destroying. Like, it's going to mean that much. Like, listen, I know what we're watching right now when it comes to the Dodgers is special. No matter how you feel about it, it's special, right? Like, I genuinely am hoping that all of these guys stay healthy. I'm genuinely hoping that they do exactly what they are capable of doing, because I want to see what kind of records they could break, right? And not just break, what kind of records they could set as well. But like, listen, it is what it is, man. But if you're a National League team or a fan of a National League team, I should say, if your team just so happens to be the team that represents the National League in the World Series by the end of 2025, man, listen, all the credit in the world goes to you, because in order for that to happen, we're talking about the very team who you have to go through in order for that to become a reality.
I agree with you. By the way, did you see the GIF did you see the thing on Instagram? There was a picture where it says, yo, Rockies, Diamondbacks, Padres, yo, y'all all want to link up. Y'all all want to like unionize and take these dudes out.
Honestly, man, like, don't get me wrong. Earlier in the offseason, it looked like for a second that the National League West was going to be more interesting. Especially with some of the moves that the Giants made and the Padres essentially bringing back most of their guys, even though they have publicly said that a lot of those guys are available. But for the most part, they still have that same team put together. And then here we are now. Like, it looks like it's for the Dodgers to win and for them to win only. I hate to put it that way, but.
And here's the other thing, right? When the Dodgers seem to be doing this, to the new people in here, what's up? Hit a comment, hit the like, hit the share button. What's going on? I don't know if you're paying attention to what's going on with the Padres right now. The Padres are going through an internal battle with the family, because the wife of Peter Seidler, the late Peter Seidler, is suing her brothers for control of the team.
Oh, this is gonna be ugly.
So when you start talking about, yo, can the Padres spend money? Can they keep up? Everybody in the division, like the Padres are cratering right now. Like, you might have to cut payroll just because you don't know who's in charge.
You know, I'm actually glad that you said that, Stefan, because I did hear something briefly about that. I didn't look too into it, but
Right.
I'm glad you brought it up because now it's a lot more clear to me with what's going on over there in San Diego.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Let's get back to some of these comments, bro, because we got a crap ton. So I haven't pick a few out, man. Pick a few out, and let's dive in.
Let's see. So we got here. Mike says he can't wait to wear his new Sasaki jersey at Petco Park.
You from San Diego? You from San Diego, Mike?
No, I think he said he was from LA, right?
But Petco's in San Diego. So if he's from LA, then that's you driving. Damn, you driving all the way down to San Diego to troll?
Right,
damn, bro. That's crazy.
Tony says it took years for the Dodgers to be in this position.
It kind of did. You're right.
It's not about money. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because to even have conversations with some of the players that the Dodgers have signed, you got to have the capital.
You got to have a little bit of bread.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I get what you say in terms of the Dodgers being able to do more than just that because they are a well-rounded organization, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly is. The money plays a role.
Oh, you out here trolling. Damn.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Shrek in the building.
Yo, Shrek, shout out to you, bro. You probably hate us, man. You know, we were gone for so long. But
Shrek in the building. We back, Shrek.
But shout out to you, bro, for being here.
Shrek,
you know, we've been gone for a while. YouTube says it's been 3 weeks, I believe, to be exact. But we're back, man. This is our first live video of 2025. So we're glad to see you. Oh, by the way, we got 30 people who are watching us right now. Yeah. Because it fluctuates, but that's okay. For those of you who are watching right now, very important to make sure you follow us on Instagram at 27outs3C. That is, of course, one of the easiest ways to find out when we are going to go live. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here.
Gil, man, thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you. What do you think about your message here, Gil? Because we're about to get into Alonso.
Yeah, Gil, I know you told us that you're from the Bronx. You're a Mets fan. How do you feel so far about this offseason? And as Stefan just mentioned, because this is exactly where we want to go, how do you feel about the polar bears still being in the North Pole? You don't have a home yet.
Talk to us, man. Talk to us. Oh, you say we taking shit over.
Hey, that's possible, man. I kind of feel like that happens in New York with Yankee fans going to Citi Field.
See, by the and we gotta have a moment of silence for the Toronto Blue. I mean, my lord, you want to talk about finishing second in every single? It's like they like the chick, right? They like the chick that she thinks she's getting married. Yo, I marry you. Yo, I marry you. Yo, I marry you. Every one of the groommen, like, you know what, shorty? I mean, I slept with you for one night. It was cool, but I think I found my forever over here.
Let me ask you guys this, though. Do you think it's crazy to believe that there might be maybe something even deeper, maybe something that we perhaps don't know about yet when it comes to the Blue Jays?
So,
because listen, you've seen a lot of these big market teams strike out on players time and time again. Mm-hmm. But I mean, never like this. This is just unheard of.
By the way,
especially when you have the money.
Real quick, put a 30 in chat. Big up yourselves right now. There's 30 you in here.
30.
Put a 30 in there for us. Listen, what I will tell you is I think there's two things happening with the Blue Jays. One, there's a lot of uncertainty with Vladimir Guerrero on what it may mean. Is he coming back? Is he not? They're trying to get an extension done with him right now. Or are they going to be possible with their efforts with that? You know what I'm saying? So where are we at in terms of, is this really possible? Is this a realistic thought? Can we get him to come back? And what does it look like if we do, right? That's another thing. So I'm gonna give Toronto my blessing. I'm gonna tell Toronto, yo, you know what? I'll come to Toronto. We'll make it work. But look who's a free agent. Bo Bichette's a free agent. Vladdy's a free agent, right? And also, too, the pitching that you thought you were going to sign, most of these guys they don't want to go to Toronto. Number one, it's a lot, man. Going through customs, you know what I mean? Having to do that every time you travel.
Yeah.
Also, it's not like Toronto's a beautiful city, don't get me wrong, but you also feel the pressure of, yo, what if we don't win?
And that's a whole country at that.
Right. But also think about this too. This is the other factor that needs to be pointed out is Toronto's front office, Mark Shapiro and Ross Askins, are in the last years of their respective contracts. So what that means is we could come to Toronto, we could do all that. But what does it mean if the dudes that we're working for who signed us may not be here in a year if it don't work and we can't get out? So now you bringing in a new guy, a new GM who might have a new vision, who might not be able to trade XYZ, right? So when we sitting there talking about, yo, why doesn't Toronto spend money? You might not be able to because there's so much front office uncertainty where the dudes that you're trying to get a deal with, they may not be available.
Speaking of deals, right? And I just want to say this before the regular season begins. Now, I know it's too late. Stefan, you and I have said that here on the show that we believe the Blue Jays should have moved on from Vladdy. They should have moved on from Bo Bichette. Mm-hmm. And, listen, it's at this point, rather than it being sooner rather than later, we're now at the later part of things. But while we know that you are not going to get what you could have gotten had you made this decision sooner, let them go by the deadline. There should be no reason why the Blue Jays are carrying dead weight up until the last regular season game. These guys don't even want to play for you. Like, I don't know if there's a better way to put it. If there is, please let us know in the comment section.
Here's the difference.
Let them go. Take whatever, or I should say this rather, get whatever you can in return because it's too late.
See, and the thing that works for the Dodgers, because we're going to, obviously this is a Dodger-centric first hour, is that the front office is solid. It's sound. They already know, like, we're going to be here, right? Like, there's not uncertainty with who's going to get fired, who's going to be here. We know Andrew Friedman's going to be here. We know Walter O'Malley is going to be here, right? Like, it's not going to change, right? When you look at Toronto and you don't know who's going to be there next year. You don't know what the roster is going to look like next year.
Yeah.
So the one thing that we will say about the Dodgers is they're a model of consistency because year in and year out, you know who's there. There is no, up and down, in and out. We don't know who's there. We don't, you know what I mean? Like, the roster is set pretty much. Ownership is set pretty much. They know what they want to do. And so when you look at it from that perspective, when you're stable, stability means winning. Stability means you're going to be able to tell your players, whoever you bring in, we're going to be here. So no matter what happens, we're going to be around. And guess what happens? The more you win, the more stable you become, right? How many times have we seen the Blue Jays in the last few years have disappointing finishes where you were like, damn, bro, really?
Yeah.
Right. There's so much instability with the Blue Jays, even from how they put a roster together. And you're like, okay, you did this, but why didn't you do that? Right? You so busy about bringing in Ohtani, bringing Sasaki, bringing in all these dudes, but Vladdy's not signed yet.
You can't even keep your own guys. Your franchise player already said he wants out.
Right.
And he already said no to whatever it is that you offered him. Like, man, the Blue Jays, listen, figure it out. Make the moves that you have to make. But it's unfortunate that things just aren't working out in their favor.
And here's the other thing, right? So, Rogers, the company, the main television company out there, they own the Blue Jays. There's no clear-cut face to who owns the Blue Jays. It's owned by a corporation. Why is that important? When you look at the Dodgers, when you see ownership, you see two names. You see the Walter O'Malley, who's the main control person that you see on a daily basis. And then you have the Guggenheim family that owns, I believe they own Lionsgate, the movie company, and they also own lots of art. They're very rich. So we know who your ownership group is, right? When you're working for a corporation, we don't know who could be calling the shots in terms of what your payroll looks like, what players you're gonna bring in, who you're gonna sign. They don't know who they have to talk to, right? There's no one control person that's out there that says, "Yo, all right, make this decision because I green lit it." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you were a player, how would you feel? Would you want to work with a person face to face, or you want to deal with just random dudes who say they own a franchise, but you don't even know who they are?
No, face to face. The less people I have to worry about in terms of who's calling the shots, the better, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because in fact, with not having as many people with a voice, now if you're a franchise player, you could be one of the guys who has a voice.
Right.
But when
Yeah.
there's the corporation involved, they don't care what you have to say. Listen, man, that you could really go either way with that. A lot of people think otherwise, but we see how you feel, Mike.
I'm gonna tell you how it is, Mike. The Yankee fans that did that should never be allowed in another baseball game again. And we're Yankee fans. I root for the Yankees, but I love baseball. But there's no place in the game for that.
Right.
That's some flat out BS.
Yeah, like even us being from New York, like we've said it ourselves, despite being Yankee fans, it's safe to say certain Yankee fans will really go out of their way to do the most.
Which is sad. Because here's the one thing I will tell you is that's why a part of me, I don't know how you feel, bro, but a part of me despises this new fandom. Like, I hate that every time somebody loses, you got to troll the other side or you got to this to the other side. But when you lose and you get trolled, you get sensitive and you end up deleting your whole account.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what's the whole sense in getting sensitive? Oh, you heard what this person said? You heard what No. Don't troll if you can't take the trolling.
That's true.
Right? Like, I understand being a fan and being passionate. But the reason why I respect Dodgers fans is, they out front with us. Dodger blue all day. We don't like none of y'all other teams. We out here. We taking over y'all building. If y'all don't like us, do something about it. I like that because that's a fan.
Let me ask you this question, Stefan, because I just saw a comment here. And while we're still on the topic for a couple more minutes, LA used to be a Laker town. Now it's a Dodger town. Do you agree?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
Really? Wow. Yeah. How about the rest of you who are watching right now? Let us know in the comment section. Do you agree with this comment here?
Think about what I'm about to tell you. They still do it. Like, the Lakers are used, don't get me wrong. But I think when Kobe Bryant passed away, it changed the way the Lakers were viewed in the city.
Yeah.
Right? Because they haven't gotten back to that point where it's like, oh, the Lakers are the Lakers again, right? And it just feels like, LeBron just feels like a stopgap for the next dude. But I got news for y'all. I don't know where the next dude is. I don't see the next person outside of Anthony Davis who is there, who they stupidly paid a shit ton of money to, who's going to take the Lakers' money. Why would you? When all of a sudden, every time you turn around, Darvin Ham gets fired, JJ Redick gets fired. I could do this all day.
Right.
The reason why the Dodgers are in the position they're in is the Dodgers are the most stable organization probably in all of Los Angeles right now. And I don't think that's a far-fetched thing to say.
Yeah, that's true.
The Dodgers currently Thank you for the education, Tony. I think
now I see why they have as much money as they have.
That explains a lot. But they're also involved in some type of media, aren't they, Tony? Like a movie company or something like that? I know they're involved in some type of media as well. I wish my Lakers were Master Dodgers endly, but
yeah, listen, I think it's true. Especially if we're hearing it from people who reside in LA.
Word.
I mean, who better than the people who live over there, right? So I guess it's a fact. LA is, yes, indeed, a Dodgers town.
Um, Speaking of towns and changing, the Mets just told Pete Alonzo, yo, fam, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here, dude.
So I know we just asked who was it that we asked to let us know how they felt. I saw his comment here. There's so many of you, by the way. By the way, shout out to everyone who's watching right now. Make sure you like and definitely subscribe. Who was the guy here who we asked for him to let us know how he felt before we got into that? I
Gilbert.
wanted to put it up. Yeah, Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Thank you. Gilbert. Let me see. You see? Oh, here we go. So we asked him how did he feel about the offseason and where the Mets currently stand. And Gilbert says he feels better if they get another bat. Right. So earlier when we were talking about the Dodgers and we kind of sprinkled in the Mets in there as well.
Mhm.
We did say that the Mets were a team who both Stefan and I thought were going to end up doing more. Now I know they got the biggest fish that was available in the sea, as they should have, or should I say, as Stefan and I had already known all along, rather. But yeah, I don't think they've made a lot of moves. But just because you make a lot of moves, that doesn't necessarily mean that those are the right moves.
Right.
And I think that's where the Mets stand, if you were to ask me, because while getting Juan Soto and finally having the franchise player that you were looking for all along, after losing out on players like that year after year after year, I kind of thought they were going to have more of an aggressive approach. I thought some of the top tier free agents were obviously not all going to go to the Mets, right? But I just thought that they were going to be able to end up with a little bit more, right? But they've got other issues. They still are trying to figure out first base. And I think it's time we get into that, man, because I hate to say this because sometimes players, especially agents in this case, definitely are asking for it, when it comes to the position that Scott Boras is in, Pete Alonzo and the Mets, now that we're on the topic. But I didn't think it would be this hard for Pete Alonzo, man. I kind of feel bad.
What I told you when you say, yo, he's going to get 200 million, no. I had him. I said he was lucky if he got 120.
Yeah, and still, man, like I hear you say that right now, and I still can't believe that he's 30 years old. I get it. He's coming off of 2 seasons that weren't really like what he did in his early days.
Right.
But damn, man, I didn't think it would come down to be this bad for Pete Alonzo.
Let me tell you why. To the people in the chat, what's up, man? Stay with us, because I want you guys' opinion on this too, because I want your thoughts on this. After the way the Miguel Cabrera contract ended in Detroit, Albert Pujols in Los Angeles, all those types of things, the free agent first baseman market took a hit, right? You remember what Paul Goldschmidt got with the Cardinals? He signed for 5 years, 130. That was when you knew it was going to change, because at that point, the free agent market for first baseman is clearly they're not valued the same, because first base is a very limited position. Now, if you got a good one, they're great to have, but not everybody is that caliber player. Paul Goldschmidt is a different type of player. Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera, you talking about 2 Hall of Famers.
Right.
Pete Alonzo is not any of those things. So when you sit there and you talk about why is Pete Alonzo struggling to find a market, is because he's limited defensively. He's not a very good defender. He has decent power numbers, but are they anything to write home about? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Mind
know that.
you, he hasn't been able to repeat what he once did as a rookie. That's alarming. Whereas, I don't want to sound biased, a guy like Judge did it in his rookie season and has done it a couple other times ever since, which just simply means that he is truly that player. We can't really say the same for Pete Alonzo.
So, there's a lot of inconsistencies with Pete. Like, even before the home run against Devin Williams, right, he looked lost in that playoff series.
Yeah.
You could clearly say he looked like he didn't know he didn't know what was going on in that series. So when you look at it from that perspective and that standpoint, if you're a front office that is looking at him right now, Do you really want to take the shot on the guy that you don't know what you're going to get from year to year? Right? Look at the teams that are successful. When they bring in guys, you know what you're getting from year to year. And the one thing I'm going to keep saying, and I know people are going to disagree with this, is Pete Alonzo was not a David Stearns guy. Pete Alonzo was not, he had nothing to do with David Stearns. David Stearns was going to move on from him at some point. Right? So, like, you got to know when to cut bait. Right? For example, let's just use this example because we got a bunch of Dodger fans in here still. Remember when Gavin Lux first came up with the Dodgers? They were like, yo, the Dodgers, oh my God, they might have hit a home run with Gavin Lux. They traded Gavin Lux for a minor league pitcher and some international signing bonus pool money.
To the Cincinnati Reds, right?
To the Reds, right? And you're like, yeah, well, Gavin Lux seemed like he was going to be that dude. He was at a certain point. But the good organizations know when to cut bait. They know when it's like, yo, this player is no longer producing at this clip. We're going to cut bait. And what the Mets are trying to show you is, yo, Pete Alonso's a good player, but he's not worth breaking the bank for.
Right.
So we're going to cut bait.
You know why I think this is even harder, especially for Mets fans? Shout out to Gilbert. He's a likable guy, bro. I know we are talking about the talent and the fact that, he thinks too highly of himself, right?
Right.
And not to say that you shouldn't feel that way if you're an athlete, because at the end of the day, you got to believe in yourself, right? Not an organization, not anybody else, but you got to believe that you are capable of living up to this standard that you are putting out there. But Pete Alonzo hasn't been able to do that, right? And it's hurting him. And listen, Stefan, you and I talked about this a couple of days ago. Not only is it hurting Pete Alonzo, but this is also hurting the Mets because they decided to wait so long. Had you been a little more aggressive when the first base market was, you still had guys like Josh Naylor with the Guardians still. Paul Goldschmidt was still a free agent. Heck, even Cody Bellinger. Like, if a team genuinely wanted to get Cody Bellinger and put him at first base, even he was available. Like, you had all these Christian Walker. Like, I could go on, right?
Yep.
Like, I can't believe that we've gotten this far when it comes to the Mets, especially, and what we all thought that they were going to do leading up to this offseason. And Pete Alonzo, man, it's just not a good look. And I envisioned, I told you this, Steph, and I'm going to say it here tonight. Gil, maybe you felt this way as well, but I envisioned the 2025 Mets lineup to have both Pete Alonzo and Juan Soto in the lineup. And we're at a point now where I don't think Pete Alonso is going to be on the Mets, bro. I would not be surprised.
I've been saying this is the offseason. I didn't think he was coming back.
You did say that. That's true.
From the very beginning. Because you don't hire Scott Boras if you're looking to get something done with your former team. Scott Boras is there to get you the biggest bag from somewhere other than your former team because your former team already told you, yo, we done. And to this point, Razor, I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is on a decline.
Also, this point too, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They should have done it, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to. They don't seem like they want to add any more money on the position side. It seems like they're focused on the bullpen and the trying to figure out what that's going to look like. It seems like they're rolling with Vientos at third. They might put him at first. They're probably going to roll with Acuna at third. It don't seem like they're big game hunting anymore.
And, one guy that Rick did mention in his comment was Vladdy Jr. I think they are, more interested in being able to land a guy like him after this upcoming season. Like, I know a lot of Mets fans love Alonso. He's so close to breaking this Mets record. He's so close to being the franchise leader in this. I get it. But the team is literally showing you right before our very eyes that they don't view him like that.
No. They're telling you. And listen, for all the speculation that the Mets might trade for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., let's stop that. Why would I trade for you when I can sign you in a year?
Exactly.
Why? Why would I give up assets that I'm going to need when I could give you the money in a year? right? Like that to me makes no sense. And if Toronto was serious about trading him, they would have done it already. They would have done it already. The Japanese left-handed hitting power sensei. This dude is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
he's like one of the greatest Japanese sluggers of all time. He was actually on that Japanese team in the previous World Baseball Classic.
Red Sox have ties to who, Mike? Real quick.
I think he's talking about because I
Bregman.
see they're going back and forth about Vladdy Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen. Can I tell you the truth? I think Vladdy Jr. ends up in two places. I think he ends up in Boston. I think he ends up with the Mets.
Really?
I'd be surprised if it ends up anywhere else.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to the Dodgers, and Rick, shout out to you for asking who is Murakami, but when you consider what Stefan said earlier in tonight's live, when it comes to the Dodgers, like
They got
just
the market
being the
cornered.
monopoly, right? When it comes to the Japanese market, I wouldn't put it past them, right? If it came to them possibly landing Vladdy Jr., but I think Murakami might be who they want.
Yeah, Murakami might be the guy because Murakami can play third. He can play first. He can do a little bit of everything. Also, too, the Yankees like him. But when you got Ohtani on the phone going, come play third, it's a different level. There's
Mind
levels
you,
to this.
these guys already have a relationship.
Yeah, like they all. It's like when the basketball team teams up in Team USA, right? When LeBron and D Wade and all them, they decided to team up when they were in Beijing playing for Team USA. Yo, wouldn't it be dope if we all linked up, play together, and you know what I mean? We turned Team USA into a real thing, and they did, right? So if you don't think there's an impact from seeing your Murakami, seeing Yamamoto, Ohtani, all these dudes linked up, yo, we got it on smash over here. And you coming over when you 26 years old. You know what that means? You about to get the biznag. They got it, bro. They got that bag. They ain't sweating this. And that's why I think ultimately what it's going to come down to is Pete Alonso's clearly not worth it to Steve Cohen. And also, this is the other thing I want to point out too, bro. Like, follow me on this is where I'm about to go. As rich as Steve Cohen is, you don't think if Steve Cohen really wanted Pete Alonso back, he'd have done it before he even hit free agency?
That's true.
Because you gave Lindor the bag.
Mm-hmm.
You gave Verlander and Scherzer bags.
Yeah. Brought Nimmo back at something that a lot of people don't necessarily agree with now. But just to show that he wanted Nimmo to come back, right? So he did what he had to do to bring him back. I wouldn't be surprised, Young. I would not.
I would not either. And the thing about it is like we have to be willing to accept the fact that Cohen, Alonso is known by a lot of these people in the, you know what I mean? They know how he is. And the one thing I'm gonna point out, right? Am I going to give money to a guy that wanted to do the home run derby 3 straight years in a row and put himself before the team? You want me to give you a bag?
Mm-hmm.
And I gave you a fair offer of 7 years, 158, and you told me respectfully, fuck what you talking about?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Stefan.
Come on, bro.
Because for those of you who don't know, in 2023, 2 years ago, the Mets actually offered Pete Alonso a 7-year deal worth $158 million.
Mm-hmm.
And he said no.
Yeah.
At the time, if we go back 2 years ago, that would have made him 28 years old because he's now 30.
Mm-hmm.
And Stefan, I told you this a couple of days ago, and I still stand by this tonight. I'm going to share with all of you here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was, listen, and I know Pete Alonso thought he was worth more. I even thought Pete Alonso was going to be worth more, but I think that was his payday.
Yep.
And I think him saying no, eventually bit him in the ass, and it shows today.
Because he didn't want to come back to the Mets. To me, what that shows you is you never really wanted to come back to the Mets. And you know why? Because the Mets never really wanted you back. Because why didn't they name you co-captain with Lindor? You were there for longer than any other Met.
True. Yeah, he was there.
Why ain't you getting all types of love? Bro, they went outside the organization to find a franchise player with you sitting there. Am I spitting facts or are we speaking
And the
language?
crazy part is they did that already having seen you at your best in your rookie year. And they were still on some like, not enough. We need more.
And it's not even on some physicality and skills type shit. I heard Pete Alonzo is not a very nice guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, bro. Here I was saying just a couple minutes ago, he's a likable guy, you know, the polar bear.
Now, he's likable to the fans, but inside the clubhouse, he's not the most liked dude. Because let me tell you something right now. If you were on his team, right? Let's talk about this like a family. To the 23 people that are in here, still rocking. Appreciate you.
Subscribe. Welcome aboard.
Word. Wouldn't it bother you? Because you played. Let's peel the curtain back, bro. You play, you still play. If one of your boys was like, yo, I'm going to go do this home run derby, and you in the mix of trying to get yourself ready for the second half to make a playoff push, and you worried about doing a home run derby when you already won it twice, that don't make you look a bit selfish?
Yeah.
Know what I mean? He looks selfish to the people that are his teammates. You look a little crazy in the face. And you don't think Lindor probably went to Cole and was like, yo, I know you like him and all that, but don't pay him. Don't pay him. The Mets were trying to trade him at the deadline last year. We forget.
Yeah, that's true.
They were taking phone calls on him. The Cubs had interest. The Mariners had interest. We forget how quickly 4 home runs in the postseason changes everybody's perspective. Don't let it change the fact that they were trying to trade this dude. And also, the other thing I'm going to point out, right, is that when there's a disconnect on your team, because somebody mentioned this about chemistry earlier, and that's a very important point. When you talk about all that, right, and we sit here and have conversations about what type of player we think he is, I'm going to be kind. I think Pete Alonzo is a very average player outside of his power. He don't hit for a high average either.
Right. He's not an on-base guy.
Juan Soto is different.
Yeah.
Because Juan Soto could get you 40 and hit 320.
Right. With an on-base percentage of like over 400.
400. Right? Juan Soto's horrible defensively. But what he's going to do with the bat is going to feed generations of Met fans. Like, he, you know what I mean? Can we really say that about Alonso? We can't say that, right?
Yeah, he's a lock for what? 30 and what? 90, 30 and 100?
30 and 100.
But he's going to hit what? 215, 220?
Yes. Look who got signed before him, bro. You telling me Paul Goldschmidt and Carlos Santana get signed before you, and you
2 guys in their late 30s, damn near with 1 foot out the door already.
What are we talking about? Why is this a thing? Y'all need to let me know in the comments if y'all think I'm wilding.
Yeah.
Because I'm here for the debate.
By the way, speaking of debate, another one of our guys, Sox fan for life. Yo,
what's good, bro?
Sox fan for life, man. We were gone for 3 weeks. We see you now. We saw Shrek earlier. It's always good to see familiar names, man. So shout out to you for coming back.
Tony, if we could have this conversation real quick. I just want to have this conversation with you, Tony, because you seem like a good dude. Welcome to the family.
What do you mean do good somewhere else? Like, do you magically think that he's going to suddenly repeat what he did in his rookie season? Because that's the only thing that is doing good somewhere else, in my opinion. Because if he goes to another team and he plays slightly better than how he did over the past couple of years, it's not really a big deal. Especially when you could land a guy like a Murakami. Especially when you could land a guy like Vladdy Jr. after this upcoming season. What do you mean by that, Tony? I want to hear a little more.
Real quick, Razor, he's not 37. He's 34 years old. Let me just get you corrected on that real quick. I know.
Yeah, Walker's not that old, bro.
You trying to age that man. That's disrespectful out here. To the 24 people in here, Hit a mamba for the great Kobe Bryant. Hit a mamba one time.
Yo, by the way, Sox fan for life. Just want to give you the heads up.
A
I
lot
know
of
you just
Dodger
got
fans in
here.
here. A
Be
lot of
careful,
Dodger
man.
fans.
Listen, I wanna let everybody know too. Rep your team in the comments, man. Let us know who you're a fan of. We see that you guys are having your own little exchanges on the side. We like that, but friendly reminder, keep it friendly. Don't
Don't
say
wild
anything
out.
crazy.
Yeah,
But so far things are good. But I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, nah. He came in hot with this comment here. There's a lot of Dodger fans in here, bro. Be careful out here. Know what I mean?
Tread lightly.
Yeah, man. We might have to call what's his name? What's his name? What's the other Red Sox fan that we usually get in here?
Is it
TD.
Ted? TD.
Yeah, we gotta call
TD
TD in here for backup and help you out, man.
Right.
You heard about that too? If he wins Rookie of the Year or Cy Young, they get an additional pick.
No, I didn't know that. That is insane. Holy.
Them niggas, they smart, bro. They smart.
The comment section is rivalry central. Yo, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man. TD on his way. Oh, really?
Word?
Yo, by the way, Sox fan for life. Now that you say that, are you guys boys by
y'all
any chance?
Close? Yeah, word.
Or is this something that you just have like a feeling of where Red Sox fans know when they're about to unite?
I like that. That's dope.
Hey, just like us, Gil, just like us. We're Yankee fans, but baseball fans first and foremost.
Word. Dodger fans heard about Mickey Mouse. Is that?
Yeah, I remember just a few years ago when a lot of people would make fun of them for winning in the year that they did. But last year put that to rest, right? So
he said he's got a feeling he's gonna surface, man.
You see, that's why I asked. I had to make sure because it could be one of those things too,
I mean, if he comes through, that's more heads in the chat. So I'm good with whatever's about to happen. But man, listen,
yeah,
we're gonna take this last half hour and we're just gonna talk about what you guys want to talk about. It could be anything you guys want to talk about. We're gonna be in here for another half hour because we're at the 1:30 mark right now, or close to the 1:30 mark. So we're gonna take the next half hour and just rock out with y'all, what y'all want to talk about, what's gonna happen next. And
by the way, earlier tonight, we did say that we are trying to end tonight's stream with 160 subscribers. So if you guys are new here, welcome. That's Stefan. I'm Ivan. This is 27 Outs Live. We're glad to have you here to talk about baseball as we love to do. But hit that subscribe button, man. We took some time off, but we are absolutely ready to hit the ground running.
For sure. Baseball being added to the Olympics. I wonder what that's going to do to the WBC though.
I know, right? It's a good question.
Yeah.
But I don't think too many guys are going to show up to the Olympics, right? Do you think it'll be a mixture of like top prospects,
it all
depends
because it all depends when the Olympics is, because I highly doubt that these major league teams are going to let these guys go in the middle of the year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some teams who are afraid to even allow some of their guys play in the WBC.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, Mets need another bat. They need another bat. I don't know where they're getting it from, though.
Mm-hmm.
Where you getting it?
Oh, speaking of, this was not another bat, but I did like this move by the Mets. Didn't they sign AJ? Was it AJ Minter, I believe?
The lefty reliever. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that pickup.
2 years, 22.
I thought the bullpen, especially with Edwin Diaz, no longer being who he once was. I thought they had to add more. They haven't done exactly that just yet, but that's a step in the right direction. But now, we did find out that there were conversations between Tanner Scott and the Mets, but that no longer matters because, as we said early in tonight's show, the Dodgers got him. What a surprise.
How shocking. How shocking. Listen.
The 2028 LA Olympics. Yo, Mike, you really rep LA hard, man. Yo, shout out to you, man. This man, listen,
the Olympics will be in LA in 2028.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful, man. There's a lot of LA people in here. Tread lightly in there, Dodgers. I mean, Dollars. Be careful, dog. By the way, right now, guys, our subscriber count is at 158. If we could get the 2 more subscribers by the time we leave, y'all out here doing the Lord's work on a Sunday night. You know what I mean? Help us get to 160, man. That round number sounds good.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Rep your city everywhere you go. Be proud to be where you from, man. For
Keep
sure.
it up, bro, and make sure you come right back here on the channel with that
You're
energy.
ready. You're ready.
Every
You're
time we're
ready.
here.
Yeah, man. We are ready. Yeah, man. For sure. For sure. For sure.
Shout out to Chad, man.
Dodgers don't have to see Scott in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know they're happy to be able to take
man.
away well not just being able to land Tanner Scott, but to be able to take him away from the team who you went 5 games with in the NLDS. That's a big steal.
Yeah, man. And
Let me ask, USA team could play against Otani, Yamamoto, and Sasaki's Japanese team, aka the Dodgers.
yeah, you could just put the Dodgers, all the Japanese players, and y'all be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Word. Respect it, man. Respect it. Where are you guys from in LA? Where you guys from? Are you close to the danger zone? And like, what is the relief efforts looking like out there? Talk to us, man. Where in LA are you guys from exactly? Word. The plan is for him to start in left field this season.
He's gonna play on
as of right now. And if I had to guess, Jason Dominguez is the Yankees' leadoff hitter next year, going into 2025, because they don't have one right now. So that would be my guess. And I think Jason's gonna have a big year. I do.
You know what? I have a question. Not about the Yankees, but Stefan, you and I did talk about this probably over a week ago. And it was something that was fresh, especially when it came to baseball news. How do you, for the 20 people who are watching right now, make sure you like and subscribe. But let me ask you guys a question, and please comment to let us know so we could actually get this thing going, because we still have another 30 minutes, as Stefan mentioned.
For sure.
How do you guys feel about Luis Ariz? Do you guys think he's overrated? Do you think he's underrated? Do you think he, gets the amount of love that he deserves, rightfully so? Because I kind of see both. I see a lot of people who say he is overrated, and I see a lot of people who say he's underrated. So I really want to see where baseball fans overall kind of stand. Because I don't know, man. Stefan, I share this with you, and I want to get into this right now here tonight, but I'm not a big fan of how Major League Baseball is really trying to paint out Luis Ariz to be. Now, I know the numbers speak for themselves, and I know that's where it comes from, if we're being honest.
Yep.
But this guy's style of play, like once upon a time, I know things change, and what was once a thing 15, 20 to 25 years ago is just not that big of a deal anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I've always had a thing for a guy who is great at putting the ball in play, 200 hit seasons. I think he's won 3 batting titles in a row. And I don't know, man. I'm just kind of feeling some sense of disrespect. Not really a big fan of it, because I haven't really heard things about him being a bad guy in the clubhouse.
No.
So it's like, damn, like why is Major League Baseball and fans being so harsh on a guy like Luis Ariz, man? What do you want him on your team? Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, man. Glad you're safe, Tone, for real. Glad you're safe, man, because that sounds scary. So glad you're safe, man.
Yeah, I did see a few celebrities actually say that they lost their homes. And
now, did you real quick on the Luis Ariz tip, real quick, and we're gonna get back to the LA thing in 1 second. The problem with Luis Ariz is he's not versatile enough. He's a great hitter, but he's not versatile defensively. He doesn't give you can't put him at multiple positions.
Yeah, he doesn't run well. Speed
and he doesn't hit for power. I could understand it if you were lacking in speed and all the other areas, at least hit for some power. He don't hit for power. His 340 is a real 340 because he's hitting rocket ropes all over the yard, but they don't go over the yard. They don't go over the fence. Baseball is now they're into it's like the NBA with 3-pointers, dunks, and getting to the free throw line.
Right. But the other thing, and this is listen, if you don't want to view it as a skill, I guess you don't have to. But most importantly, especially today with where the game is headed and strikeout rates being through the roof,
Mm-hmm.
he's a guy that barely strikes out, man. Like, like that's a big deal to me.
From
Especially with how hard guys throw nowadays, how nasty pitches are.
right,
For a guy to be able to still have a stroke like Luis Ariz, I like to give credit where it's due, and like I said, I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm Luis Ariz's number one fan, but I'm a little baffled how he's just being thrown like
because
trash, damn near.
because batting average don't mean shit in the modern game.
The game changed. I
It
get it.
don't mean shit. And the sad part is, you said he won 3 batting titles in a row.
I believe so. 3.
Remember when batting titles was a thing where if you won a batting title, niggas are like, hey, yo, you one of them dudes.
Yeah, I think he won one. What was it with the Twins? I believe he won another one with the Marlins. And if I'm not mistaken, he just won another one. Was it last season with the Padres?
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
but
bro.
The problem is, bro, is like, look at what the game values nowadays. Slug, on base percentage, all that type of shit. The game doesn't value if you're not hitting home runs.
They don't value contact anymore.
They don't value contact. And you know what? Because analytically, contact is like, you got contact, but you can't steal bases. You don't create runs, right? Where it's like a guy like, for example, let's just bring it back to a New York point. You know why Jazz Chisholm, I want him hitting less home runs and creating more contact? Because his single could turn into a triple because he could steal second and third.
Yeah. And even if he hits something as simple as a ground ball, because of his speed, he applies pressure.
Exactly. Where you look at Luis Ariz, he doesn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
Yes, he doesn't strike out very much, which is good. But when you talk about he's easy to game plan for, because even if he gets on 4 times, he's still going station to station.
Yeah.
He's not going to gap out a double and turn his speed and make it a triple where the defense is shitting themselves. It ain't happening. Mm-hmm. Where teams they admire versatility. Like, look at Pete Alonzo. Pete Alonso's struggling because Pete Alonso's not versatile. He's a lumbering, power-hitting first baseman who doesn't hit for average. You don't even get on base like that. No. It's a different sort of thing, man. Baseball's in this game where, we value what we value. And look at what the Dodgers have built. They do everything. Mookie's going to hit 30 home runs, but he's going to steal 30 bases, too. Freddie's going to hit 30 home runs, but he's going to hit 30 doubles, too, and play Gold Glove first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Tommy Edman's going to hit 15 home runs, but he's going to hit 30 doubles and steal 15 to 20 bags and be versatile and play all over the diamond. Like, look at the teams that are good, bro. The teams that are good value the positional versatility to be able to play all over the field. You got to be able to play all over the field, and especially when now, look at how the game is now. The game is so crazy to where I'm gonna say something that's completely crazy. I don't think Tony Gwynn works in the modern game. And Tony Gwynn was a great hitter. I don't think Tony Gwynn works in the modern game.
Right.
I was sitting there thinking about this. I'm like, I wonder how Greg Maddux, Tony Gwynn, Derek Jeter, players like that did the little things that helped their teams win by doing the little. I wonder how much they would matter in the game today. When the game is so based on, high velo, high power, major athleticism, and if you can't do that, you don't have a job. The reason why Alex Bregman's also struggling with this too. Alex Bregman had a down year considering what we're used to seeing from Alex Bregman. So I wonder.
He's in a very similar position as Pete Alonzo.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of good years, but he hasn't been able to really repeat
Keep it together. Right. Keep it together so that we're at a point now where the game is at this what have you done for me lately stage.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't continue to bring yourself to the level where what you do for me is valuable, then what does it mean? What does it mean when we're all sitting here wondering if this could be a thing that works out in the future? We don't know the answer to that. And these front offices are taking a hard line with, yo, versatility means everything. In the modern game, it means everything. Like, you know what I was thinking with Sasaki? You know what's crazy is they can make Sasaki the opener, where he don't even have to go deep in the games. Yo, pitch 3 innings.
Right.
And then we'll bring in Glass now, or we're bringing this dude to get the bulk of the innings. Because he only threw 110 innings in Japan last year. And mind you, he's 23. I don't know how much workload they're going to put on him. You know what I'm saying? With that's how much the game has changed. And the one thing that's important, Sasaki signed a minor league deal with the Dodgers. Did you see that detail? He didn't sign a major league contract.
Holy crap.
I believe he signed a minor. Listen, if you're a Dodger fan and you in here, did he sign a major league deal or a minor league deal? I haven't hit the Google for me. I believe it's a minor league contract. I believe he put that in his story, and he got a signing bonus of $6.5 million.
Let's see.
I believe it's a minor league contract he signed because he's an amateur free agent.
I don't actually say here. It could be a possibility.
Minor league deal.
Yeah, they said minor league deal.
Minor league deal. Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to the chat for that. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. He signed a minor league deal and got a $7 million. He got a $6.5 million signing.
Yo, you know what's crazy, man? Because come September, because at that point, I think the Dodgers are gonna have the NL West wrapped up, like signed, sealed, and delivered. If you ask me, but could you imagine the amount of rest that they're gonna want to give to the guys who they just want to give rest to as they prepare for a deep playoff run?
And the thing is, they could afford it.
Yeah,
not
because
like they can't afford to give guys right there. You could afford it. They could be like, yo, Yamamoto, you ain't pitching for like, we skipping you. We gonna let you get this time through. We'll skip you this time through. Yo, Dustin May, move to the bullpen, dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is gonna happen? I think they're gonna consolidate some of this pitching depth, whether it be Gonsolin, whether it be Dustin May, whether it be a few of these guys, and they're gonna turn these guys into a major bat in the outfield. Major bat. I'm talking about Luis Robert.
Oh, you mean as in trading them as okay, I see where you're going. Wow,
you know
man.
What I mean? Where they're going to be able to do whatever they want to do because they have so much depth in the major leagues where you can literally turn anything you want into a palatable trade and people got to sit there and take it.
Yeah.
We played 2 games.
Yeah, that's gonna be must see.
Nah, I don't think Sasaki gets game 2.
Think Ohtani gets game 2 or Tyler Glass now?
I think
or Blake Snell. Like
I
can't believe I'm still going.
I think Blake Snell gets the ball in game 1. I think Yamamoto gets the ball in game 2, and I think they work their way back. J-Rod.
Well, what's with you and J-Rod, Mike? Like, you feel like the Dodgers are gonna end up trading for J-Rod in the near future?
I mean, they could do it.
Of course.
They could if they wanted to.
I don't put anything past the Dodgers, bro. I think they could sign whoever the hell they want.
Of course.
I think they can trade for whoever the hell they want. I think they could draft whoever the hell they want.
Of course. Also, here's the crazy part. The crazy part is, I wonder, did you hear they signed all of their international free agents? All 15 players got signed. That's just more inventory.
Yeah, man.
That shit is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I would call if I'm a team looking for starting pitching right now? The Baltimore Orioles. Call the Dodgers up. Yo, what do you want for Dustin May? What do you want for Tony Gonsolin? What do you want for, you know what I mean? Players that you really know you ain't going to be able to use long term.
They've got the prospects to give up to land it.
That's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, if they did say that, Rick, which thank you for confirming that. I mean, what does that do, right? You heard the other names that I mentioned. If it ain't him, then who is
Well,
it? Blake Snell?
Otani could take the next half. He could take the next half season off
Yeah.
and start pitching in July, and they're gonna be fun.
And we know that the Dodgers are gonna do that. They're gonna do that exactly. They're gonna move accordingly. They're gonna do what is going to benefit them the most in the long run as they try to go back to back. And it wouldn't surprise me.
Nah, they might. You know what? Since it's in Japan, they might do that. They might, just because you want to get the Japanese flavor in there.
Yeah, man.
Nah, he's just trying to cheat.
Well, if it does happen, I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
No.
Now, I said I wouldn't put anything past the Dodgers. Excuse me, but not yet. I don't think the Mariners, especially.
If you a Mariner fan, if you a Mariner fan, you trying to alienate the people that are your own fans. You trying to alienate them off the rip, bro.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest, Stephen. It's not like the Mariners know what they're doing.
They don't, but
look at how they treated Ichiro Suzuki. Look at how they treated Felix Hernandez. And now we're not there yet, but I'd say we're probably at the halfway point of it being another possibility with J-Rod.
That's a great point.
Landing a franchise player and just not doing anything close to what you should be doing.
That's a great point.
They don't know what they're doing, bro.
I can't knock it. That's a great point. By the way, real quick, if you had one dream player that's not on your current team that you would love to see on your current team, who would it be and who would it be and why?
If there was one dream player, so does the player already have to be like currently in the league?
Yeah, one dream player you could trade for or sign as a free agent.
Wow. So I think it should be fair to exclude Otani. Like I kind of feel like that's
Otani's excluded.
A little too obvious. Yeah.
Right.
Like let's think for a few seconds. I'm not asking you to think for long, but just put a little bit of thought into it. Yeah, you're right, Mike. You see that comment there? You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you, bro. But I guarantee you it does not happen in 2025.
Nah, it's not going to. Because Jerry DiPoto doesn't want to lose his job. You trade J-Rod, Jerry DiPoto's on the first thing smoking out of Seattle.
Yeah. I get your point. Like, do the Dodgers have what it takes to get the deal done? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen in 2025.
Yeah.
But when it does happen, if you're subscribed, which I hope you are by now, come by and we'll be able to shout you out as the first person who we know was out here saying J-Rod to the Dodgers.
Yeah. J-Rod would be good for the Mets, though. They building a little DR over there.
That would be nice, too.
Vladdy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Little DR out here.
He said, okay, quote me. I will.
Oh, you talking spicy. I like that.
I will, bro. I will. But deep down inside, I think you also know that it's not happening this year, man. Come on now.
Cubs announced Seiya Suzuki as their primary DH with Hatt, Armstrong, and Tucker in the outfield. It's going to be nice while it lasts, but Kyle Tucker ain't going to be there till probably the deadline, and then they're moving off him.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. You know, we got like another 15 minutes here. So one last reminder, make sure you follow us on Instagram at 27outs3C. And go ahead and be just like Mike. Subscribe right now. I'll give you a second. You subscribed? All right, great. We appreciate it.
Come on, man. We won away. We at 159 right now. There's 14 of y'all in here watching.
I think he already did. Jeff, we're talking about, right?
Yeah, Jeff Hoffman. He signed with the Blue Jays.
He did already.
We at 159. Get me one more so we can get to 160.
Do I hear 160? Going
160, y'all.
Going twice.
Sold.
160? No, not yet. But we're going to get there.
We're going to get there. But listen, man, Jeff Hoffman's a beautiful get.
Yeah, you know, I know we were talking about the Blue Jays earlier and the fact that they missed out on every single free agent.
They're going to trade him too.
But the one guy who I guess had what it takes to be the person to say yes, give me what you're offering. It ended up being Jeff Hoffman. Hey, but that's listen, that's a respectable pickup for the Blue Jays.
Nice. It's nice.
Big loss for Philly though.
Yeah.
Hoffman was big for them in their bullpen.
Here's a question: since we talking about relievers and Tanner Scott and Jeff Hoffman are off the board, where's Carlos Estevez going?
Yes, another Philly guy.
You want to know my answer? I think Carlos Estevez is pitching for the Chicago Cubs next season.
It's a nice pickup. I like that for them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're a Cubs fan, you got to be able, well, the organization rather has to be able to make things somewhat interesting, right? Like, while we all know that they're not going to keep Kyle Tucker long term, but at least make it interesting. Listen, whether it be in the entire National League or not, make the freaking Central interesting, man.
For
like,
sure.
Somebody take down the Brewers. Like, look at how many guys the Brewers have lost over the past couple of years, and they still find ways to remain afloat.
Speaking of the Brewers, real quick, we don't. I don't know why we didn't do this, but R.I.P.
Bob. The radio announcer,
Bob
right?
Uecker, Mr. Major League himself, 90 years old, and he didn't retire. He said, "Yo, I'm going straight from the Brewers broadcast booth to the afterlife, dog. Forget retirement."
Wait, so he was still working in
he was still doing the games, yeah.
At 90 years old.
Shout out Bob Uecker, yo.
What a career, but what a life, man.
Shit, I want to live till I'm 90. I don't know if I'm gonna be on the mic at 90, but I like to live till I'm 90.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that was his dream job, and the fact that
it's a beautiful
doing
thing.
it until his very last day, literally, was probably nothing for him, you know?
Yeah. By the way, if you guys haven't yet, go see that movie Major League. Go watch Major League. Go listen to Bob Uecker. That's comedic genius. Bob Uecker was also at the very first WrestleMania, by the way. There's a famous clip of Andre the Giant choking the shit out of Bob Uecker, like, backstage.
I think so. I never knew it was him who Andre the Giant did it to, but now that you're saying that, I have seen footage of that.
Yeah.
So I'm envisioning exactly what you're talking about.
Choked, but he played it off so well, though, man.
Yeah.
Bob Uecker had his own beer commercial in Milwaukee. He was like a Milwaukee staple out there, man. And the thing is, you know how they say the players usually don't want announcers in the clubhouse after they win. They want it to be just amongst themselves. They wouldn't start celebrating until Bob Uecker was in the clubhouse with them as like a family. And then they would pop bottles and pour champagne on Bob. He got his own bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always in the middle of the ruckus when they would win. But
shout out to
you, man,
Sox
for
fan
sure.
For life. Big news, man.
Word, man.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Sox fan for life, you're one of our guys. Sorry for putting you on the spot, but salute to Sox fan for life for, you know, being brave enough,
serving the country, man. You
doing the damn thing, you know.
Oh yeah. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, serving the country out here doing work that we couldn't even think about doing.
Yo, on a side note, we've got about 12 minutes left here. So as we said a few minutes ago, we're here for 2 hours tonight. So leave comments. You know, this is where we're freestyling. It could be baseball related. It could be related to anything.
And then you want to go.
But I say the anything. Where you guys think Bregman is going?
I'm gonna maintain this. I think Alex Bregman is gonna end up a Red Sox.
With the Red Sox,
I think he's gonna end up a Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are just gun shy about going to 5-6 years. But I think if you get it down to 3 with opt-outs, I think he'll go to Boston.
Do you think by any chance he somehow gives into maybe a deal with the Blue Jays and the fact that they're one of the last teams out there who are willing to go to that extent?
Well, let me ask you a question then. The question is, ask the Blue Jays who would you rather prefer, because I'm hearing they're down the road with Anthony Santander. So if you're already down the road with Anthony Santander,
that's another guy who is still available. Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, if you already down the road with him, is it a thing where you know what I mean? Like, Alex just feels like he's gonna end up in Boston to me. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, because if Detroit was gonna do it, they'd have done it already.
True.
One thing I will say, and I'm not trying to be facetious when I say this, but One team I do think that we need to kind of watch out for. They kind of like laying in the weeds here a little bit is the Cubs. I'm not saying that they do it, but you just traded Isak Paredes, which means you clearly have a hole at third base now.
And I think they just got him like a season ago or
They
something
got him
like
at the
that.
deadline. They got him at the
Yeah.
deadline. Yeah. And I wonder if now, they turn around and Alex says, all right, I'll take a 3-year deal for somewhere in the range of Matt Chapman money, 60, $65 million. I'll stay there for about 21, 22 million a year with an opt out after a year. I wonder if the Cubs are lurking in the shadows, right? Also, the other thing that I'm going to keep in mind is I think there's a possibility, it's not a strong possibility, that the Twins trade either Carlos Correa or Byron Buxton before the end of spring training to clear up some salary.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, and I don't want to come off as a hater or anything close to that, but I think that whole Byron Buxton being a Minnesota Twin thing, we got to put that to rest already, man. Listen, he has shown flashes. He's shown instances where he could look like he's one of the best players in the game. Now, talent wise, if he could just put it all together for 162, he is capable
special.
of being exactly that.
Yep,
But
for
I
sure.
think the Twins have given him a long enough shot in order for him to finally put it all together, and he just can't. So it's time.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't even think they're doing it because of that. Well, they're about to sell. The Polad family is about to sell to one of the Ishbia brothers.
Wow.
Justin Ishbia, the same owner that owns the Phoenix Suns. Him and his brother want to buy the Twins.
So you think they're looking to probably shed some money off before they make that official?
Yeah, and so according to the Aaron Gleeman in The Athletic, who wrote an article, him and Dan Haynes, who also covers the Twins, have been talking about the idea that the Twins they're like in a financial gridlock right now. So I wonder if one of those pieces comes off the board and you have a potential trade where it kind of looks like either one of those guys could be traded. Now, it goes back to my original point, right? Where if I said I had one dream player that I would trade for, and I know this is dicey as hell, but I would trade for Carlos Correa. If I'm the Yankees, I would trade for Carlos Correa strictly because
at that price, bro.
Yes,
I don't know.
Here's why, and we could bat it back and forth for the time we have left. Carlos Correa in the postseason is automatic.
Yes, he has shown that.
I don't care what you do from April till fucking September 30th. When the calendar flips to October, that dude is money. And if Judge is going to continue to struggle, you need somebody in there that's going to take the pressure off of him. Right? Because here's what I'm going to tell you. If we believe that Urakami is already a Dodger before he even signs the contract, then that takes Urakami off the board for the Yankees. So I wonder if the Yankees are in a desperate state where they do something like that just to say, yo, you know what? We need the veteran leadership on our diamond. We need it in the clubhouse. We need somebody in here that gets it, right? Because yes, Judge is a captain, but Judge is not going to yell and scream at dudes.
No.
Carlos Correa will flip over a table if you act crazy. He's hot-blooded. He's Puerto Rican.
By the way, Stefan, for those of you who are watching right now, shout out to all of you. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. We reached our mark, 160.
Hey now, hold up.
Hit him with something.
Hold up.
Hit him with something.
Hold up. Oh.
Shout out to everyone who is currently watching. Shout out to everyone who stopped by. And also, I love to say this as well. Shout out to those of you who are watching after the fact. You know, those of you who can't watch it live, but you still come across the channel and watch the video nonetheless, you know. Well, but thank you for helping us get to 160.
That's a beautiful thing. So I answered this question short and sweet, bro. I'm not giving nothing up of value because I'm taking the majority of your contract back. So probably I'll throw in Stroman for a year, maybe two lower level pitching prospects, maybe I don't know, but you ain't getting nothing of value. Because if all you're trying to do is shed salary, then let's make it work. Because here's the thing. At that price, look at how much guys they got signed. You got Stanton signed. You got Cole signed. You got Judge signed. Ain't no way. We ain't got to worry about price right now. Price right now means nothing when you're already at a point where, you know what I mean? Like, you already are up against it financially. You might as well go for it. You need the whole field.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
wanna
thought
I wanna
process.
show this comment here. Sox Fan for Life says he doubts anyone wants Stroman. While I agree with you, I think certain teams will want him, especially if the Yankees are willing to take on what would probably have to be a majority of the contract, right? If the Yankees are serious enough, then they just might have to do that.
The Yankees already told you they'd be willing to eat the majority of the contract. There was an article today. Matter of fact, Jack Curry on the Hot Stove Show was like the Yankees will eat like 10 million. So if you got the Yankees ready to eat 10 million, then I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, we gonna make that a
Word.
real thing actually.
Word. Korea and the Bronx, Bergman and Queens. I like how that. I'm not mad at it, man.
I like it too, man. I
I'm not
like
mad
it.
at it. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, Kirby Yates still a vet. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That I can't believe.
Right. But the thing with Kirby Yates is he's an older guy, bro. Like he's
Yeah, but
37 years old. I know he had a great season this past year, but
yeah,
he's at that age where like he's one injury away from being out the league.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. His splits are ridiculous, though. Go look at your Kirby Yates splits. His splits are insane. That's somebody the Mets should go get. Kirby
61
Yates.
innings pitched last season,
Kirby Yates.
1.1 ERA.
He was sick last year.
Yeah.
Shout to him. The Mets should do
Oh,
it.
you know what? His splits were not that bad. His ERA for away games was 1.3.
Yeah.
And his ERA at home games pretty even, 1.0.
Yo.
Not bad.
The Mets should go get that dude.
They should.
You imagine a 7-8-9 with Yates, Minter, and Diaz?
I like that.
Not bad.
I like that.
Trying to help you out, Met fans. Trying to help
it happen.
you here.
I mean, we shared how we feel when it comes to the Mets and what they've done up to this point in the offseason. Of course, stating the obvious, but why not still, make the best out of it with what's out there? He said Dodgers. Yo, that's funny. It's possible.
No, but here's the thing.
I'm gonna be honest, Sox fan for life. I was not expecting to wake up this morning and see that Tanner Scott was going there.
So here's the thing, right? I wonder if the Cubs do a combination of Estevez, Yates, you know what I mean? Kind of do two birds with one stone and kind of knock that out that way. That's the one question I would have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, this was fun, man. Let's do it again sometime. We can't wait. And on a football Sunday, too. Thank you guys for coming through, man. We appreciate it.
For real, man. I before we go, we do have a couple of minutes. Shout out to everyone who's watching right now. Shout out to everyone who stopped by. I did say this a couple of times earlier today, but now that we're about to wrap up tonight's show, shout out to those of you who rocked with us tonight, man. This is, of course, our first live video here. Our first actual video period of 2025,
Right.
So to really debut here in this new year with a video such as tonight is a big deal. It means a lot, and
Definitely
not just
does.
that. We did say that we were looking to get to the 160 mark in terms of subscribers, and
we
you
got that.
Exactly that, man. So shout out to all of you. We
Word.
appreciate it. But I know, and it shows too, that you guys really are rocking with us. So thank you.
Definitely, man. Again, man, we appreciate it, and we hope you guys come back for the next one because the next one's going to be more live than this one. So appreciate the love, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace. Are we done?